What's up, guys? I hope everybody is doing well out there. There are some developing news stories right now in the Philippines. Maybe some of you have heard about it, some haven't. But I want to tell you guys what's going on right now. Things always change here. They can change in the blink of an eye. Things have changed once again. I'm going to start with the international news here, the Philippines news, and then I'm going to tell you about some of the local things that are changing in this area right now. Right now, I'm reading on an article. The Philippines imposes cap on international arrivals at NAIA. This is coming out March 16th, yesterday, 2021, as of 6:20 p.m. The limit of 1,500 passengers per day will be enforced for a month, starting 8 a.m. on Thursday, March 18th. The Philippines government on Tuesday, March 16th, said it would enforce a cap on foreign arrivals at the Ninoy Aquino International Airport. In an advisory on Tuesday, the Civil Aeronautics Board, CAB, announced the reduced international inbound passengers capacity at the country's main gateway. Please be advised that the international inbound arrival at NAIA shall be limited to a maximum of 1,500 passengers per day. The cap will be enforced beginning Thursday, March 18th at 8 a.m. and will be lifted on April 19th at 8 a.m. Flight carrier Philippine Airlines said on Tuesday that it will continue to operate its full international schedule on Thursday, but it will be announcing flight cancellations in the upcoming days. And it goes on to say the CAB said airlines are further advised to comply with the directives of the Bureau of Immigration on the kind of essential inbound travelers that will be allowed to enter into the Philippines. The BI has yet to issue new guidelines on persons allowed to enter the Philippines as COVID-19 cases continue to rise. That is coming out of the Rappler. But there it is. 1,500 passengers per day will be allowed to fly in. Now, I have not read anything about Clark International Airport. I haven't read anything about that. But if they're imposing something like that in Manila, they could be imposing something like that up here at Clark. Like I said, things change day to day. I've always said it. I know there's YouTubers out there putting out false information, giving people false hope, saying, I think that come April, come October, come November, they're going to allow international flight. And people are going with that and buying tickets. Guys, if you're going to buy tickets to the Philippines going off of what somebody else is saying without proof, make sure you can get a refund. Because as it stands right now, flights coming in for tourism is not happening. Who they're gonna allow in now for next month, it says it hasn't been determined yet. I've been kind of looking online and haven't found anything. But guys, things change here. They change from day to day. And this is the latest. I don't know if this affects people that are coming in with a retirement visa, because you were allowed to come in on a retirement visa, a 13A visa. If you were married to a Filipino, you could come in. If you have children, I don't know if this is affecting that or not. I haven't found out the information. But that's what's going on the local level here in Angeles City. The mayor put out. And what I'll do is I'll put up what he has put out on the screen so you guys can read it. If you want to freeze it, just freeze it. I'm just kind of going to go over what they've are starting to implement again here. Some more restrictions. This came out March 15th, 2021. Implement restriction measures and public health protocols to the recent surge in numbers of COVID-19 cases and emergency of the COVID-19 South African variant in Angeles City. They're saying There's a case here, there's a recorded case of the South African variant, which according to experts may be more infectious than the original version of the virus. You know, I know there's going to be people leaving comments like, I don't believe in it, we're sheep, put on your masks. I'm just giving you guys the news. I'm giving you guys what they're putting out here in the Philippines. Remember, the Philippines is a country all of its own. It makes up its own decisions, it makes up its own rules, it makes up its own things. As a foreigner, we don't have a say in it. We live in here, you gotta go with the flow. It's saying all establishments are enjoined to strictly implement the minimum public health protocols, including but not limited to wearing face masks, face shields at all times, except when eating or drinking, and taking of temperature and filling up of contact tracing forms entering into an establishment. New curfew. The curfew, I think it was 1 o'clock. Anyways, they're coming out with a new curfew from 11 to 5. That's the new curfew. Children and minors ages 15 older and below are strictly prohibited from leaving their residence. In other words, if you're under 15 years old, they are saying you are no longer allowed to leave your residence. You are no longer allowed to go out in the street and play with the other kids because that was going on. That's what they're saying. All non-essential businesses, particularly bars, KTVs, JTVs, and other entertainment establishments shall only be allowed to operate until 10 p.m. daily. They were allowed to operate till 1. 11, 12, 1. So I guess 3 hours. They've cut them down now. They cut them out. All non-essential businesses, I read that. The operation of gym, fitness studios, and sports facilities shall be temporarily suspended for a period of 2 weeks starting March 17th, 2021. However, said establishments may only resume their operation upon the insurance of I'm reading around my camera, of a written consent from the business permit and license division. In other words, gyms, fitness studios, and sports facilities are now being shut down till March, starting 2 weeks, starting March 17th. Why? I don't know. Did they trace everything back to a gym and say, okay, because the gym is a breeding ground for this? I don't know. They're the experts. Food establishments, especially those allowed dine-in clients, are required to strictly implement the 50% maximum capacity occupancy of diners to be monitored by the BPLD. Likewise, those ages 15 and older, those ages 15 years older and below shall not be permitted to enter the food establishment. In other words, 15 years and younger are not allowed to enter the establishment. Places of worship, temple, mosques are required to strictly implement 30% maximum numbers of allowed people inside the venue. Further, venue administrators shall strictly monitor attendees who did not get inside the venue and stay outside to attend the religious services to ensure the social distancing protocols are observed. Parties and social gatherings shall be prohibited in all barangays until further notice. The BPLD is directed to monitor compliance of business establishments within the above mentions. All barangays are directed to carry out strict monitoring within their respective barangays and to ensure compliance with the curfew of minors and the prohibition of parties. They're supposed to monitor, make sure there's no parties and social gatherings going on. There it is. The Angeles City Police is likewise directed to assist in the monitoring of compliance with making sure no parties and social gathering is going on. There it is. That's on the local level. Let me quick give you where is it at? COVID update. As January of 2021 in Angeles City, there was 236 cases. February, 222 cases. March, as of March right now, 16th, 249 cases. So they're saying it's going up. So anyways, you know what? Let me bring Lut in because Lut has made some good points about this whole thing and we've discussed it. But that's the news right now. Let me bring her in. Let me give you a perspective of a Filipino and their thoughts on this right now. All right, guys, I got Lut right here. We were talking earlier. Hang on, let me move this to the other side so Lut can be heard. We were talking earlier. You know what? Earlier I went to the mall and I asked probably 10 people, from employers that were working in the store to a couple people that had just walked by to even the security guards. You know, ages from probably, 20 to 40. I asked them, I said, would you take the COVID vaccination? 99.9% of them said no. Then I asked them, why won't you? They said, because they're afraid. Now, these are people that deal with the public every day. Every day they deal with the public. The 1% was a security guard. He said, no, maybe, or maybe no. So there's an overall consensus from a lot of people. And this morning when I had my breakfast, I even asked the waitresses, would you take it? They said no. They said no. And I said to Lut, why? Why? What is the fear?
It's fear. The fear, like even me, I fear for certain reason. I don't know what's the vaccination go through my body. Like if I'm allergy on it, because sometimes also they also see a lot in news also that they have like allergy. What's the effect?
Your reaction.
What's the effect on it? So that's also people like fear. Like the fear on it maybe like there's a lot of like a news right now, the news that they're watching or they're launching it, that the effect of the vaccine, this is how it true, this, and also they also read that about like even though you have a vaccination, they still cannot prevent you to get like a COVID. Like sometimes if you get what's that vaccine, you still get a COVID.
So do you think it's a maybe it has to do with not being educated on the vaccination, or is it that people just realize and know, and not only here in the Philippines, guys, around the world, that people don't believe the news. The news has lied to people for so long that you don't know if it's real or if it's fake. Now, guys, let me say this again. Not only here, but around the world. So do you think it's that too, that people they just don't believe the news?
That's for me, I don't really believe what's half of the news said.
Right.
I don't know.
Because news has lied to people for so long now, and people are tired of it. Now, what was the other theory you were saying? That you think, okay, the vaccination just came out within the past month or so. And I even read it online. There are government employees and officials in different organizations here. They've refused to take the vaccination. You know, you might have 60% taken, other 40 are refusing to take it. They don't want to take it. Now, Lut and I were talking, and she was saying, this vaccination came out. They are doing surveys. They have already said they're doing surveys in our area to see if you're willing to take it. And all of a sudden, within the past week, this major crisis now where COVID is on the rise here. Look, what is your theory? What do you think is being done?
Hey, too much propaganda.
Like you were saying, you think that they're all of a sudden they're raising the alarm rate.
I don't see it. They don't say how many people's there, what's the statistic on that one. There's too much propaganda that people make it fair.
They're just telling people, like, our hospitals are getting full. Well, people don't know that. People aren't walking in. They're not. You said you think that they're peeking out the numbers again to scare more people into volunteering for the vaccination, right?
Maybe. You never know.
You never know. But yeah, it's they're claiming the numbers are going up. And they're starting to implement new restrictions in cities, Manila here, I'm sure everywhere else. I even read where I think in certain parts of Manila that they are prohibiting the sale of alcohol. See, here's another thing that's coming up, and they're pushing these numbers now and stuff. We've got Easter coming up
Yeah.
within the next couple weeks here. Easter is a huge, huge gathering events for families and churches and people getting together and people traveling and people going places.
It will be canceled. There's no Easter.
Yeah, well, there'll be Easter. But anyways, here's another one, and I'm going to wrap this one up. I did that video up on Clark a couple weeks ago, maybe a month ago, where everybody was up on Clark. The outer perimeter of the parade field, people were gathering, they were having picnics, they were getting out, they were enjoying life. About a week or two ago, I read an article. They shut that down now. No more picnicking on the parade field. None of that. But anyways, that's what's going on. Like I said, guys, quit believing some of these vloggers out there, the flippity hand vloggers that want to tell you, hey, I can see it opening in November and October. You should be okay to get your ticket, and then you run out and get it. And don't believe that until they specifically say, yes, we're opening up for tourism. International tourism is allowed to come back. Don't go get that ticket, guys. Don't believe some of these guys that are telling you and filling you full of false hopes. Just wait. Just wait. It's going to happen. Eventually, it's going to happen. And I have always said time will tell. So anyways, guys, that's the latest news. Once again, take care of yourself. Take care of each other. Take care of the sick and the elderly and the young if you have pets. Take care of your pets. And we'll talk to you later.